Okay, so we're back. Thank you so much for tuning in. The love and support that we have received is just overwhelming. Derek and I really just seen so much, especially just as we talk to people, as we meet with people with just the business and the industry that we're in. Many of you all know we're in business for ourselves and we help families get out of debt, make, save, and accumulate money. And so some of the pictures that we see are just just normal now, especially in the communities that we're in. We're in a predominantly African American community, which I love. However, there are some challenges within our community that, it might not necessarily be the person that you think it is, but you know, it's a population out there that they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And so what our topic today is, how do you afford your bills when you don't make enough money? And it could be a situation where you have written down all of your expenses, you've written down all of your bills, and there's just not enough money to cover your bills. And we want you to keep in mind that it is your household bills, it's your living expenses, it's your debts, and then your savings and your giving and all of that stuff. So a lot of times there's just not enough money for all the portions of your budget. So we're going to be talking to you today about what do you do, where do you start, how do you reduce the stress? So Derek, do you know some practical tips?
Well, you touched on actually a few. You said the household, the the basic things that you need to survive. So step one would be focus on the essentials first, right? Focus on the essentials. Your food, your bills, obviously your lights, your gas, your water. But focus on the things that you need for basic survival. That's first and foremost. We have to pay those. Gas, you have to go to work. These are things that without those things, none of this matters. So focus on your basic survival needs first, your essential bills first.
Right, and it might look, you want to live in faith, because it might be a situation where creditors are calling you, people are texting you, they're after you for that, but you really need to start by writing down, like Derek said, your essentials, and you need to figure out, can I cover my essentials first? So let's say you make $5,000 a month, and your essentials are $5,000 a month. Now, if that is the case, then of course, at that point, we would highly encourage you to start looking at your living expenses, because now you got to look at your car, your home, and really make real decisions on, can I continue to live here? And before we get to our next point, I do want to tell you guys that the worry and the stress is not worth it at all. You're choosing to be worried and stressed. These things, yes, they have happened, but you got to make a decision. I got to come out of this. And the first step is really getting that essentials list down with your bills, and I want to dive more into that. So what would you say, like, just more specifically, what are those essentials? I know you mentioned like gas and stuff, but what would you tell a person what's their essentials?
Well, the essentials are the things that you need for basic survival.
Yeah.
Your groceries, your gas, your lights, your water,
your rent or mortgage.
Yeah. Your obviously your rent, your mortgage. So those things are basic survival skills.
Even your car, like if that is going to impact your ability to get to work, Your car, your car insurance. Those are things that, those are your essentials.
Yeah.
Right?
You have basic essentials and you have non-essentials as well. Things that you can cut, but first and foremost, we want to focus on those basic survival. We make sure you add the word survival essentials in it, because you need these things to survive. Could you imagine going without water for a week? So yeah, we've been there before. Maybe not a whole entire week, through the grace of God, but going without water is not a good thing. So your basic essentials, and I'm sure, like I said, I'm missing a few, but
but those are good. Those are going to impact your day-to-day living, and you don't recognize the impact until they're gone. Yep. And so, unless you are being evicted today, or you are, even if you're being evicted today, it doesn't matter. What matters is this is day one for you. That's it. And one actually, before we got our essentials down, you know what we did? We wrote down all of our expenses. We just wrote it all down. We got those big sheets of Post-it notes. They're huge, and we just wrote down all of our expenses. And that was like the first week, and we just kept it in front of us for like the first week. And so that's the first thing, just writing it down with the amounts. And what's another practical tip?
Number 2 would be, you actually said that as well too. Call your creditors. Get in contact with your creditors. A lot of them will work with you. They want to work with you. But you have to actually make an effort and give them a call. So the second would be to reach out to your creditors. Right?
Yes.
Try to work out a plan. Right?
Yes.
Before things start getting cut off.
Right.
And before you miss a payment.
That's
before
the best way.
You miss a payment, go ahead and call. Don't just put off. And again, we're talking about, staying ahead. I'm talking about staying ahead of the curve. So before you even miss a payment, I'm sorry, go ahead. Reach out to them.
That's right. The earlier the better. We're in this industry, but we also have day jobs. Mm-hmm. And part of my day job is just, I interact with a lot of people, and a lot of times it's just, they wait to at the end where we can't really guide them properly. But at least you'll know what they're offering and what they can do for you, and then you can make a well-informed decision on what your next steps are.
Mm-hmm. All right, and I would say next would be cut non-essential spending out, right? That would be things, subscriptions, things that are not typically there for your basic survival. We have a lot of spending habits, dining out, Uber Eats, DoorDash. It's a lot of non-essential spending habits that we have accumulated over the years that are literally slowly killing us. Is death by 1,000 cuts is what they say. Cut a lot of your non-essential spending out. Write those things down.
And guys, I'll just tell you, that was one of the most difficult things for me to do, because you work really hard. And my husband said this the other day, you feel like, man, I worked. I just want a little bit of, I just want a meal, I want to eat out or whatnot. But I will tell you this, when you have an understanding that everything in this life is God's and it belongs to Him, then you begin to look at things differently. And He's tasked us with stewarding what He's given us well. And so that's pretty much the first step. Now, when you write everything down and you like your essentials first, and then you've contacted those creditors, it's easier for you to cut out because you recognize this is not the will of God for me. For me to write everything down, call the creditors, make all these arrangements, and now I'm eating away my money. It's the enemy. I mean, that is going against what you just laid out. So God wants you to have a prosperous life and your mind, your will, your emotions, your health, your wealth, your family. That He wants all good things for you. So sometimes we can do things the opposite of His will for our lives. But when you have it written down, the Bible says, write it down, make the vision plain. When it's written down, it's easier for you to make decisions from that plan versus you winging it.
Yep.
And you thinking you got it and you ain't got it. Or you thinking you can just, in today's world, I mean, there's so many ways to make money. You think you can make it back real fast. And that's besides the point.
Yeah, I agree. Brings me to the fourth one. Create a bare bones budget, right? Create a budget where this is it, right? It's make up your mind. You've cut out the non-essentials. You've identified the essentials. You've called the creditors. Now it's time to create that budget. Know what's coming in and know what's going out.
Yeah.
Right? That's we're gonna cut it. That's it for the day. But now it's time to create that budget, right? We want to know where's your money going.
That's so good.
After you identify the first three, the fourth step would be to what? Create a bare bones budget.
I mean, that's so good. And I would just, piggyback and say, and keep it in front of you. We have tried so many different ways to monitor the budget, come up with the budget. My husband has been saying for years, we just gotta put it on the wall. Just put it on the wall. And I think one of the reasons why he has said that is to keep it in front of you, to remind you on a daily basis, hey, this is what we have coming in. This is what we have going out. This is what we need to pay. And it just keeps it in front of you. We keep it in both places. We have it on the wall so him and I can look at it. And then we, of course, have it on Excel so we can easily add up the amounts and things like that. Or if you prefer, a notebook, that's totally fine as well. But once you have that bare bones budget, you gotta, that's the tool, right? You gotta keep it in front of you, or the tool is just in the toolbox.
Yeah.
It ain't being used.
Yeah.
So budgets are meant to be used.
And there you have it. Those are some practical but very impactful tips that can change the whole trajectory of your life.
It can. And
those aren't the only tips. Yeah. Those aren't the only ones, but those are the first 4 that we want to focus on this series.
Yes.
Because we're going to continue to pour into you guys as we learn. You will know everything that we learn, because this is a journey that me and my wife are now starting.
Yeah.
So we're not 30 years in, 20 years in. We are learning in real time.
In real time.
In a real day day and age, live in front
2025, y'all.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. And but without the budget, you don't really have a foundation. And because we're in the financial industry now, the financial industry is, let's just have, the foundation is here, and then the smoothing of the foundation, which is your finances, they can't even be started really if you don't have a budget.
That's why it's called a bare bones.
Yeah, you got, it's a difference between budgeting and your finances. Budgeting is you getting on a written plan and knowing what's coming in and what's going out, having that bare bones in place. The finances is your investments, your kids' college fund, your life insurance, your identity theft, your debt management plan, your retirement accounts. That's the financial part. A lot of us aren't even getting there because we're still struggling on the budget.
Yep.
And so that's what we want to do. We want to really just come on here and give you guys some practical tips. And listen, y'all, a lot of this stuff you already know. So
or you have access to get on your own, really.
Yeah.
These are things that, if you're like us, you can, we're really not saying anything special.
No.
We're just bringing it to you again as we learn it.
Yeah.
And they are important. These are essential tips to actually come out of whatever place that you may be in now. And we've been there. And we understand it's always somebody worse off. But we've been there, and we do understand how it feels and what it takes to come out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's our mission. That's our goal, is to either help you avoid or kind of guide you in a way towards the other side. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we appreciate you all for tuning in to this video. Thank you for staying to the end of it. And subscribe to our channel, comment down below. We'll do our best to answer all of your questions. And of course, if you like a one-on-one consultation with us, certainly reach out to us, DM us, give us a message. We'll be more than happy to sit with you for free.
And even in this video, comment budget. Yeah, comment budget, and we'll be happy to reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Be blessed.